Dear friends, my name is Pavel Smutny and I am here with my presentation of my last visit in Giza in Cairo. I want to explain some important facts, some important discoveries which I had made, I had done in previous time regarding to those three pyramids in Giza, on Giza Plateau, regarding those temples like this Valley Sphinx and Mortuary Temple, which is behind Sphinx next to Khafre Pyramid. So I start now with this one, not from beginning of visit of this place, but from the end of visit of this place. Why? Because I want to explain in such way, maybe it's more clear. Okay? So next view on Sphinx, on Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure Pyramid. This place is interesting also too, because there are a lot of underground caves, chambers, tunnels below this whole plateau, especially below the Sphinx, but also on another places here. So now we are closer to these temples, Sphinx and this Valley Temple. You can see that those blocks are really very big. Yes, you see that this is circa 2 meters, so 3 meters time 4, 5, 2, 3 meters, yes. So these are blocks from limestone were very heavy, actually very heavy. And there was casing from much harder stones, like granite, basalt. And also when we go inside, we see that inside the place is actually made from that hard stone. So why so big and heavy stones for temple? Because actually this wasn't temple. These so-called temples were used like technological buildings for big power plant and all that technology which was used in Giza in previous civilization before flood, before that big solar event, probably for to use that complex like active telescopes. What are active telescopes? We have big telescopes also in our time, maybe diameter till 10 meters. Now they are preparing telescope with diameter circa till 30 meters in next years. But passive telescopes, yes. Those are our telescope, the best telescopes which are used on the earth, all are passive. But this complex was used like active telescope. They used big enormous energy, so here was something like power plant, and also that energy was transformed so that they received cosmic particles, and they transmitted also cosmic particles, but actually cosmic particles are mainly protons, what are actually hydrogen cores. Yes, even bigger. Yes, so very big blocks are here. These are statues. Yes, So block steel 80, 100 tons. So why so heavy? Because here they manipulated with extreme energies. So it had to be very stable, very stable. Like for example in our modern atom reactors in nuclear power stations. Yes. Maybe even more precise and more stable it had to be. Okay. And we see that erosion here is actually of high levels. Yes, this is probably mainly wind erosion, what is visible here. But here were casing, so those are not here. Maybe they used them for other purposes in previous centuries or in previous 1,000 years when they disassemble big part of this complex. Okay, again, you see how enormous are these blocks, yes, and also these smaller, which were very precisely cut. Yes, you see that it was very precisely, and to do such precise work with granite or with basalt, it's not so easy work, and transport those blocks somewhere from Aswan or from Sinai or from other places, actually it was hard work, but they had technologies for such manipulation with heavy weights. It's inside. Okay, so here you see quite big blocks, and it's view on Sphinx from side view. Also you can see this erosion, which is mainly wind erosion. But here casing, yes, you can see this casing. And some entrances are there, but it's not allowed to go there so easy. It's view on Sphinx temple, which is in worse state than Valley temple. Again, back part of Sphinx. Okay. Some restoration works are or were there in that time. You see that, for example, those stones were precisely made without not spares. You see that it was quite heavy construction, very massive. Inside. This is indoor part of Valley Temple, where are those blocks. Walls are made from very hard material, so erosion is not on such level. It was indoor and also from much harder material. You see how precisely were those walls, all the parts after 1,000 years it looks quite good. We have, for example, castles in Slovakia, where I am from, and after 200-300 years there are total ruins, and they were done also from quite big blocks, not such big, but that erosion is such that from building after 100 years there is nearly nothing when this is abandoned, and we see the 1,000 years, many thousand years after building of this site, this temple, and those walls, those blocks are in such good condition. You see how regular, how very precise was that work. Very similar are done also those blocks, for example, in in Abydos, also very old site, and similar style and similar construction of blocks. Here we see one room inside. We can look on details. Yes. Smaller cracks are there, but when there was such big energy used, so it had to hold that pressure, enormous pressure what was inside. I'm here inside of this temple. My daughter, and here is very nice wall, very massive blocks, and it was done very precisely. Another view, also here you can see how precise it was done. So one line, okay, right angles are very precise. And also this window, you can see how precisely was it done. Here is again one nice detail of this work. So various angles, extraction was done. We don't know why so, but very precisely also carved here. An opening, we don't know why was this done. Line, but also here, if you look at this line, so for example also in this time from such hard material to do it so precisely is not so easy work. Yes? You can compare it with present buildings, and it has put many thousand years since it was made. So outside, again outside, some views. Yes, but limestone is softer, so that erosion is enormous. You see how big were those blocks, and how enormous is erosion on that softer material. When I compared it, for example, with those temples on Malta, which have 7,000 years or so, so this erosion looks worse. But those were even underground, but some blocks not, also on Malta. And on Malta we can see erosion also not on the blocks, on walls, but also on terrain and some stones and so on. And you see here also granite, how nicely and smoothly it's made. Yes? For example here, yes, there are cracks. Also here, if we look on this surface, so it was from such hard stone and so very precisely done. It's pity that only rests are there from this casing, what was here originally. Yes, do you see it? How precisely, how smooth. Also here we see those granite blocks. Okay. And it looks to that there was also enormous heat, because why? Because such a granite don't work. So probably it was overheated, and so we have some such thin layers which fall down during that event, maybe 13,500 years ago. We don't know exactly. Yes. Again, another look at my daughter. I was again things, and now we are on the plateau closer to pyramids. Okay, there is view on other buildings, temples, ruins, what are there. Also this hill is interesting, from that one is very nice view, and probably some projections what are on Senmut map, tomb of that Senmut vizier Hatshepsut written. He was vizier, so, or he copies that map, but looks that was done from that place, some measurements. And there are very interesting big holes. I don't know if I have here photos, but holes which are nearly 60 meters deep. I'm closer to pyramid. Okay. Structures close to pyramid. Also that casing was much nicer, but they assembled it. We don't know exactly. And that pyramid. Pyramid close. Also here is visible quite big erosion. view. We see that the blocks are in a little better state, and it's from time about 1,000 years ago when there were done various openings, or from more modern time when they tried to go inside with explosives or with other procedures. Blocks, closer view. And here it's inside of Khufu pyramid. What we see over there, it's Grand Gallery. I try to make detail view. See? Sailing of Grand Gallery. Also inside is used hard material, very precisely. It fits together without spurs. I'm here at sarcophagus. We don't know exactly how it was used. In legend it said that there were various crystals and some such devices which were assembled when El Mamun was there, and other those who tried to explore pyramid 1,000 and more years before us. Inside hard material, so made from one block. It's not so easy, and those chambers. Before my visit. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. I try to explain another my discoveries, another my researches during my next video, which would be about National Museum, which is in Cairo, and I would devote to all these artifacts which were found on various places in Egypt. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.